Years from now, we may look back on NBA free agency in 2019 and say the first 24 hours changed the course of the league. Now, I'm not sure that's exactly true. There was a lot of talent that was transferred. The championship race is as wide open as it's ever been. That's pending what Kawhi does. The championship race, though, somehow feels a little more familiar here when you look back with players controlling their own destiny. Part of it goes back to LeBron. When he signed with the Heat in 2010, he set the tone, he chose his team, and he controlled everything. Now, we see players do this all the time. We criticize LeBron for how he did it. Dumping his hometown team on TV wasn't ideal, but he sent a message to the younger players. They're writing their own story. Kevin Durant wants his own team, wants to play with his good friend Kyrie in Brooklyn, and they got it done. That's no surprise in today's NBA. Free agency feels wild when stories are breaking, but it feels like the players know exactly what they're doing in what has turned out to be a historic free agency period. Think of all of the stories this year, from the beginning of the year to up until Sunday. All of the rumor, innuendo, speculation, reporting I'm hearing, and how much of it came true. Who had Kemba Walker going to the Celtics? Al Horford going to Philadelphia. J.J. Redick going to the Pelicans. I mean, just a couple of names there. Kevin Durant, I believe it was a 90% report that he was going to the Knicks. 90%. And he somehow ends up with the Nets. I thought he would play with Kyrie. I thought it would be New York. I had nobody that was telling me this other than that was my feel. He wanted his own team. He wanted to distance himself from Golden State. So he ended up in New York. He just ended up in Brooklyn. But all of the speculation here of Kawhi, oh, he's going to the Clippers. He's going to the Clippers. Oh, I'm hearing he's going to the Clippers. Everybody, it feels like in this small incestuous world that we have with insiders and I'm hearing and, this rumor. And then you have to sort of part the sea here and go, what is true and what is not true? And that's really hard. It really is. And there are guys who do it really well because they work hard. But, the sports world's cluttered with wannabes where you throw stuff out. I'm hearing, because there's no repercussions when you're hearing. Because all you can say is, hey, that's what I heard. When you start to report, that's when it gets really interesting. Because then you start to go, okay, there are reports that Kawhi is going to go to the Lakers. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised now, this late in the game. But remember when the report was Kawhi doesn't want to be part of the circus with LeBron. Remember that? Is that still true? If he signs, I believe the circus is in town, in the words of Dirk Nowitzki. But there's so much speculation out there because, bosses want their employees to have something new. Like, what do you have for me? I mentioned this yesterday about ESPN. There was so much pressure on Chris Mortensen, Peter Gammons. You got to have these, what do you hear? What are you hearing? And, sometimes you don't have anything. And somebody is going to beat you sometimes. Somebody's going to get that information there. I go back to Bob Nightingale with USA Today. Remember when Bob came on the show and he said, it's a done deal. Bryce Harper's going to Philadelphia. 6 weeks later, nothing had happened, and we're going, oh, where is he going back to the Nationals? What about the Dodgers? What about the Yankees? Maybe it wasn't a done deal, but Bob Nightingale said, look, it's a done deal. He's going to Philadelphia. And, of course, he ended up there, with Kawhi Leonard. Oh, I think he's going to stay in Toronto. Okay. Oh, he's definitely, Clippers are the front runners. Okay. Like, how did that happen? You were the front runners, and now you're not. Because it feels like it's a Laker-Raptors decision here. So it can drive you crazy. It's fascinating. It's like a sped-up game of tennis where there's so many volleys, and they're back and forth. You're just trying to keep track of it. And you don't know what's real and not real.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.